Welcome to STARCARD Podcast. STARCARD Podcast is your channel for intercontinental tarot card reading. Get ready, everybody. We're about to take flight. Hold on to your seats and make sure you got a good view through your windows so you can watch all the magic happen. You've tuned into a live tarot throw. My name is Breakaway Ray. Today is March 7th, 2026. Let's tell you what's on the agenda. It's 7-card Saturday. I'm going to throw 7 cards. And we're going to divine an inspirational, positive, uplifting meaning on what is Saturday morning for me from the tarot world. After all, there are no coincidences. When we see these 7 cards, they're going to tell a story. And it'll be a fun story for all of us to hear. Something that's going to pick us up and remind us how awesome we are. Then we'll be floating at a higher perspective because we're going to cruise at an astral altitude with a cosmic attitude. And then it'll be time for tarot for the audience. If you would like a tarot card reading in the second part of the show, which is about 35 or 40 minutes away from now, please check my instructions in the chat. Type in all capital letters tarot, please. I'll be happy to throw some cards for you. Thank you all very much for tuning in. Let's not wait any longer. It's 7. Let's go to the tarot cam. Here we go. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Getting things set up on the tarot table. Yeah, this is going to be interesting because this light is broken. And I broke this one a couple of weeks ago. Okay, that'll work. Oh, yeah, these are our little posters for later. We're going to get in God's Zeppelin and take a look around because perspective purifies. All right, I'm glad I remembered to share that part. On with the show. I've got the Robin Wood deck standing by. The star card jumped out as soon as I took it out of the box. All right, Tarot World. You create a lot of magic. It sure is fun watching you do your stuff. It's fireworks every time. And the important part is the messages that you send really mean something. I can't do this by myself. Everyone knows that. But look, everybody, just about anybody can do it. I've only been studying tarot for about a year now. And I'm thinking about all the people I've helped out. I'm so happy that you've tuned in. Here we go, everybody. It's 7-card Saturday. Let's get these cards tossed. Thank you, Tarot World. You have the floor. The top card is the first card. The bottom card is the last card. And then we're going to fan and cut our way to fill in 7. Here we go. Yeah, I'm just pulling cards randomly out, huh? Is that how it works, Breakaway Ray? Well, I think I'm randomizing them, but the universe is putting them all in order for me. Thank you very much, Tarot World. Here we go. This is for entertainment purposes only. Look, I'm already having fun. Check this out. First up, it's the 9 of Wands, then the 8 of Pentacles, and then the Fool card. You know, there is a little bit of bias on the person who's reading the cards. So obviously this looks like a message to me. You got a guy here, the 9 of Wands. He's already done a lot of work. He's already been around the block. He's a seasoned, experienced person. And yet, even in this state, he still applies himself like a young boy to working hard at whatever brings him the most joy. He's not forgetting to be a kid and, you know, to follow his heart. And every time he does that, the Fool says it's a new adventure. That's a lesson for all of us, right? And don't forget to be a kid. Don't forget what turned you on when you were little, because there's a spark of your spirit in that little activity that you like to do. It helps you follow your soul's path. Look at that Fool go. All right. And now the second part of the message, everybody. Oh, sweet. There's the High Priestess. And the King of Wands. Wow. And the Queen of Wands. Wow. And then the Death card. Hey, everybody. Don't be alarmed. I want to point out, first of all, how lovely the death card is. Okay, it really is a very lovely image. And the death card simply means endings, beginnings, and transformations. All right, so check this out. Here's how I'm looking at the cards. You have the High Priestess, and she's capable of doing great magic because she knows how. And she's also wise enough to conceal her ability. And also, she would be wise and prudent enough to understand that when you use magic, you have to use it to float everyone's boat. Okay. And let karma settle and balance things out for everybody involved, which means the High Priestess has to have a perspective. That's something we're going to talk about today, like the King of Wands. The King of Wands sees the big picture. And when he sees the big picture, he realizes he can overcome all obstacles. And it goes back to a concept we shared over the last couple of podcasts. I don't know how many days ago I said this, but when you travel in space, your spaceship leaves one set of time and space coordinates, travels through an astral arena, as it were, and then rematerializes in a different time and space. All right. So when you get up high and you have a great perspective and you see the big picture, okay, you can see how easy it is to navigate around what you got to do. And there you are. Once you realize your power and your perspective, now you're the Queen of Wands. It's time to carpe diem, everybody. The Queen of Wands says, have a zest for life. Be courageous. Be determined. Don't these two cards have a lot in common? Be courageous. Be determined. Have a sense of joy and go for, work hard at what you love to do. And then guess what? All the changes that you need, all the transformation that you need to go through will be part of your path. I kind of like that story. I'm being soft-spoken there. I really like that story, Tarot World. Thank you very much for writing that part of the script. All right. And thank you for tuning in, everybody. I'm going to give these cards a toss. Well, cool. I like looking at the numbers of viewers and the numbers of likes. And I see I have 100% likes and viewers at the same time at this moment. That's pretty groovy. Thank you for those likes. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. All right, where am I going with this? Okay. One moment, please. I'm collecting my notes in case there's any new viewers out there. I like to turn on the camera and know what I'm going to say. I used to be a school teacher, and it's a good idea to have lesson plans when you're going to be in a room for 6 hours with people that need to get some stuff done. All right, so let me check my notes here. One moment, please. Oh, let's check the camera here. That's a little bit better. Hey, the gong looks really good today. All right, so I'm looking at my notes. Oh, we did 7 card Saturday. Okay, so my whole theme today comes about because as I mentioned in the past, I have a lot of time to myself and I can study my thoughts. And one of the things I do is like I ask questions a lot. Why did this event happen? How come I keep meeting this kind of person? Those kinds of questions that you've probably been asking yourself if you've been watching videos on the internet for a long time, trying to figure out what's going on in your own life, right? And then, I have to start a dialogue where I say, okay, so if it's true that this is something that was supposed to happen for me so that I would learn and grow from it, okay, then why would that be the case? And so then I have to take on the persona of someone who would explain that, okay, explain why this is a good thing. And you know what? I'm getting too good at it. So I have this perspective, by the way, between don't believe and can't believe. But when I turn on the camera, everybody, I'm making myself a believer, and I'm not even sharing all of it. You just see like the magic with the tarot cards. So anyway, back to my prepared notes. Let's see. Let me make sure I got it all covered here. Okay. Well, everybody, I would like to take everyone back in time and remind everyone about 2 famous historical figures in science, Nikola Tesla and Thomas Edison. Nikola Tesla and Thomas Edison. Now, over at STARCARD Podcast, I have more than 200 videos And I don't expect people to watch all those, although they're all pretty good shows, right? The point I'm making is I am going to be repeating some information about these gentlemen that I've mentioned in the past. So lots of us have heard how Nikola Tesla would, in meditation, test all of his devices. He would presumably sit and meditate, and then he would examine how these things would work, perhaps in an astral dimension. And then once everything was fine-tuned, he would build it and there would be no mistakes, which kind of sounds like the story of Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, right? He would write his music and there would be like no mistakes because it would just come straight from his mind and onto the paper. So that's another example of that. I bet there's so many examples in your own life. I mean, again, I'm so grateful that people who think and share my same curiosities are tuning in. But in any case, I bet that there's lots of times when you've done the same thing. All right. So we understand that pattern. We've discovered that already in our own lives. All right. So what was I getting at? Oh, and I didn't mention Thomas Edison. I learned this recently. I'm going to say recently, like in the last decade and a half or something, that Thomas Edison used to sit in a chair and he used to have 3 metal spheres in his hand, kind of like tiny spherical metal Paulinas in the game bocce ball. Okay. So, but anyway, he would keep 3 in his hand and he would sit in his chair and then he would have like a little metal bowl underneath his hand where he would be holding those. So he would sit in meditation. And then in case he would fall off to sleep during his meditation, the hand would drop the metal balls, the noise in the bowl would wake him up, and then he wouldn't actually fall asleep. He would just stay in that hypnagogic state, examining his thoughts and testing experiments, presumably. Ooh, I'm being so diplomatic right now. I mean, you have to congratulate anyone who can do what those gentlemen do. And you know what? We don't do that a lot, do we? I think it's harder for us now because we're taking in a lot more information through screens, said the man talking to you through a screen. All right, I'm going to check my notes. Okay. All right. So I'm going to very quickly discuss the idea of romance because, just from my own perspective, and everyone knows it's very unique and bereft of any action, shall we say. Nevertheless, my perspective on it is, I learn a lot from songs that are on the radio and, movies and TV. And there's always this talk about, in which I agree with, this is something that I grew up with, someday getting married. And then you have that commitment, because you're loyal and it was a match made in heaven. Okay. And, you're two peas in a pod and it's a partnership and you lift each other up. Okay. I really do have a strong conviction, but also I'm quite old now and I hold multiple ideas now. But anyway, along the way, I had to encourage and sometimes console myself when things didn't go my way or the way I expected them to. Maybe they really did go my way, right? Everything happens for us, not to us. But here's some things I came up with. Like it would be very easy for me, like if I spot somebody in a social setting and they're new to me, I might become infatuated right away. And so one of the best things I do or did or I forced myself to do, I just remember this aphorism that I coined to myself: nothing dispels infatuation like getting to know someone. They couldn't possibly be as cool and as wonderful as I think that they must be. My imagination is giving them a lot of credit. And that's very nice of me. Yeah, right. Like I'm thinking, the best possible things about this person. Okay. And then, maybe this quote came out when I was starting out my 50s about 10 years ago. And, it has a different flavor now. Let me see if I can remember that quote. Hang on a second. Okay. So again, even at my advanced age, after all my experience, right, the same repetitive pattern going on. Okay. Let's say again, I spot someone or I'm getting to know someone and it's really, something that's, provoking me to finally go talk to that person or whatever. But anyway, I temper my enthusiasm. I curb it with this little thought: not everyone looks the way they smell. Okay. That works for me. It doesn't work for everybody. But it does give a taste of realism, because come on, Breakaway Ray, you have a vivid imagination. I'm glad that you recognize it. Okay, but down here, we may be angels, but this is not the this is not the place for angels. Come on, pay attention. Be 3-dimensional here. Okay, it's not all 2-dimensional. Smiles and light and happiness and balloons and all that stuff. Okay, so I mentioned these things because I'm going somewhere with it, right? I wrote notes. So follow along with me if you please. I'm trying to catch up with myself. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you're having a good time. All right. Oh, yeah. Okay. So 2 more notes on this particular subject. So a couple of days ago, I paraphrased something I learned on the internet from another tarot card thrower who told a story it's an ancient part of Hindu or Indian tradition, where there was a couple and they had a young boy, and the boy felt that his father was being distant. And the boy asked his mother, is there something I'm doing wrong? Is there something I can do? I want to experience the same love from my father, but I don't feel like my father feels that same way. And then the mother, instead of consoling him and giving suggestions and making him feel better, said, you know what, that feeling that you want for love is actually only satisfied, through God's love. And maybe that's the deal, right? Maybe that's what I'm looking for. Sure, I'm looking for God in everybody in that kind of way, right? We're just stringing these thoughts together here. We're giving it kind of a flavor here. All right, because we're looking for like a magnetic draw back to a sense of unconditional love, that thing that they talk about, in the afterlife from near-death experiencers. You're like in a dimension where it's just unconditional love. There's no problems. There's no bills to pay, and there's no traffic. And you're not upset about anything. You don't have grudges. You don't have to worry about something that happened last week or last month or 10 years ago because it's still an issue. You don't have any of that stuff to worry about. It's just all, we're all having a good time here. Everything's cool. Okay. Maybe that's really what we're looking for. We're looking to go home in a spiritual sense. Is that why I'm turning on the camera? Okay, so next page. Okay. So yeah, like I said, I was going to talk about reverse engineering what's going on in your life. Maybe there's a way we can figure out what our life's plan is. I mean, they keep sending these, well, are they tests? Are they games? So they keep sending these things our way, or maybe we're selecting them, okay? And we have to evolve beyond these patterns. We want to upgrade. We want to go to the next level. And wouldn't it be cool if we were more empowered? And the fact is, of course, we are more empowered than we think we are, but we're taking in information that tells us we're not really that empowered, or that we shouldn't pay attention where our power is. So one of the things I mentioned on the other page that I just set aside, okay, that seems like a queer analogy for me, which is, when I grew up in the 70s and the 80s, we would go to church on Sundays. And I mean, just as a practice, as an idea, something we can all think about, whether you go to a temple or you go to church, no matter what church, wherever you go to pray, the point is once a week you got together, even as a community, and you prayed together. And even though you might be sitting in the pew wondering, what is spirituality? I don't see how it matches up with what I'm doing when I'm sitting in this chair. Now I got to kneel, and now I got to sit again. Okay. Sometimes it doesn't all match up. Okay. But the idea is you're going in and you're trying to learn about your soul. You're trying to learn about your spirit. You're trying to learn about your relationship with God. Right. Instead, as things progress through the 70s and 80s, a lot of people, just in my own family, tend to be the gentleman, right? The mom would take the kids to church, and the dads may not be going to church. There might be something good on TV, and so we would be at church trying to build a relationship with God. And meanwhile, someone else might be sitting on the couch and, using that energy to take in information about a car they need to buy, or, what the next best fast food would be to get, and to watch other people run around and use their bodies and their minds and their intellects to play a game. They're the ones that are playing. Okay. So anyway, let's turn the tables a little bit. I'm glad that you're permitting STARCARD podcast to be part of your screen time, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to try to make it worth your while. Okay, on with my notes. Okay, so we're going to take a higher perspective, and the higher the perspective that you take, the more convincing the strategy and the life plan and the reasoning behind the whole game. I'd like to give some examples. Well, I'm going to give some examples of the effects. So let's say you've encountered some kind of stumbling block, something that, you've encountered a brick wall, and you thought it was all done. You wish it was all done. You thought you were done. You prayed, you did all that stuff. You did affirmations, and it's still, it's still an issue or whatever. Okay. So now what do you have to do? You really have to course correct, right? Is it a dead end? Is it a virtual dead end? Okay. So I wrote down some things. These are some things that might happen when you come up against something like that, literally or spiritually or theoretically. What did you do? You slowed down, you prayed, you meditated, you researched, you thought about it. Okay. I just used some synonyms there between those two words. Okay. You learn to manage your thoughts and emotions. I mean, you have to self-reflect. Am I in this situation because I'm doing something? It sounds like people who've been gaslit know what I'm talking about, right? And then you monitor your own emotions and you monitor your own health. Is my health an issue here? I got to balance things out. Am I getting a little too carried away with the potato chips? Is that why I'm feeling the way I do? I got to take it easy on those things, or whatever the case is. Okay. And then once you do all those course corrections and you really reevaluate how you've been navigating things, all of a sudden, you're back on the path. I mean, you wake up the next day and guess what? You got another day to do. I'm trying to put these thoughts together so that people look at the flow chart of the things that happened, slowing down, researching, meditating, praying, managing your thoughts and managing your emotions, responding, not reacting. Okay. Taking care of your machine, your body. So this way you make the best decision. Being at peace. Okay. Because you got a long road ahead of you. Otherwise, God wouldn't be leaving you here for the whole game. Okay. The good news is you still have a couple hours left before it's sunset at the amusement park. So let's go for it. We got more rides to go on. All right. So my next page. All right. So what would I do? What would Breakaway Ray do? I think everyone already knows if you know who I am. So I would write a dialogue. Of course, I've been a playwright since I was a teenager. I would write a dialogue. So you can call me presumptuous if you want to. It's all for, I've got an imagination. Why not use my imagination? I'm going to use it in a respectful way. How about if I have a dialogue with God? How about if I have a dialogue with Source? In the 70s or the 80s, that might sound outrageous for a Roman Catholic to say something like that. I mean, you still pray, but you're not having a dialogue. It's not a conversation. However, there's so many psychics on the internet, wink, Psychic Liz Cross, they speak directly to Source. And you know what? I'm convinced that Source and the universe want us to do it. How else are we supposed to be enlightened? Why do we need an interlocutor, an intermediary? I mean, I agree, psychics and mediums are great and they're helpful, but we could do the same thing. And I know you know what I'm talking about. Start by looking at those synchronicities in your life. Okay, so, or you know what? You go ahead and imagine you're having a conversation with your spirit guide. Go ahead and write a dialogue that way. What's up, spirit guide? That'll give you a chance to feel more fraternal and maybe even jocular, hanging out with someone at PE class going, what's going on? You're helping me out. I don't see you, I don't see you on the playing field. What's going on? What's the game plan? Remind me. And what else have I got here? How about an ancestor? How many of us feel like someone in our life that passed away, maybe a parent, a grandparent, an uncle, or an aunt? How many times we feel their ghost in the room with us and they give us a little nudge and it was them. You didn't come up with that. Okay. Right. Well, go ahead and have a conversation with that person. Write down what they're telling you. They only want to help you out. They probably have a unique perspective that you don't see. You're using these two eyeballs. Okay. Don't forget about your pineal gland, your third eye. All right. Let me see what else I got here. Oh, how about someone who would know? Someone who would know. So I very quickly, I'm going to share an anecdote. In 2010 or 11, I was in a situation where I was going to relocate, and I was at a situation where I said to myself, I wonder if I should, for example, rent the house that I was in and then, take out a loan to get another one. I know it sounds like I'm using big money here, some fat cat school teacher. So anyway, stop. I'm making myself laugh. So anyway, I didn't go that route. But what I did, I have a great grandfather, Salvatore Matera, and he was the one that owned all those houses on 241st Street. I'm not going to get into Salvatore's story, but, I went to bed one night and I said, hey, great grandpa Salvatore, if you're out there, I know you know about this stuff. And let's just say, overnight, the next morning, I had the perspective of, do I want to do those kinds of things? Here's the stuff that I would be responsible for. It would really be dividing my attention. And that's the main reason why I said, no, I'm just going to focus on, the next place I go to. But anyway, practicing that dialogue is giving you a sounding board, a way to, bounce your ideas off of someone, even if there's no one there. I mean, can we really trust all the people in our lives to have the same expertise and perspective that we have? On with my notes. Okay, so as I've been suggesting and demonstrating almost every time I turn on the camera, the invisible world is here. The tarot world is here. It's source, it's God, it's the universe. And sometimes it can be a particular frame of mind or a consciousness or an aspect or a perspective, right? We've done all kinds of wonderful experiments here since we turned on the camera in August. And so here's some extra notes I've written here. And this is about me because I had my chance to be an altar boy, and I was really rooting for God in my life, even though at the time not everything was groovy. But anyway, here I go, everybody. I always wanted to believe God was there, and now I'm learning where God is, right? Of course, it's not just a trite aphorism. God is inside all of us. God is inside all of us. And I'm readjusting what I understand about God and the parameters and how we're connected. And on a hand-sized scale, the tarot confirms God is here. Okay. Again, I'm just throwing cards out there. And then how many times do I hear in the chat, hey, Breakaway Ray, good reading. That really helps a lot. Okay. I'm using my imagination. I'm glad it helps, but it can't be a coincidence. It happens over and over and over again. So I got to thank the tarot world. I don't mind. I'm saying it out loud on camera. I'm kind of proud that I've been able to develop this show for everybody, and it helps people out. That's great. And now we're going to build upon that. Let's see. Okay, so I guess the last comparison, the last analogy I have for everyone is customer service. We want customer service to be awesome every time. And, I want to say, thank you and bless you, customer service people. You try so hard. And sometimes you can't satisfy everybody, can you? So, but hey, everybody, consider just writing out the script, a transcript, or even practicing closing your eyes and imagining a conversation with customer service. Even imagine that you're pressing the numbers so that you get through to the department that you need to get to talk about the circumstance or the person or the behavior or the emotion or the experience that you're having, and see if you could sort it out with that person. Just have a simple dialogue. You don't have to know what the person looks like, right? You don't have to know what country they're in. You might want to give them a name. Who's that person is going to help you with that particular situation. Anyway, those are just some ideas to think about. So here's what I came up with. Okay. So we're going to get in God's Zeppelin. We're going to rise to a higher perspective to understand why these things happen to us, because they don't happen to us, right? They happen for us. They were all things that we agreed to. So, again, if that's the story that we're all going with, these are all things that we agreed to because we wanted to make an adjustment while we were down here. It's our big chance on surface planet Earth in 2026. And so we're going to learn how perspective purifies. When you go up really high, the emotions and even the pain, it doesn't seem so important, does it? I mean, you're in one little tiny locality and there's things happening all over the planet. And you know what? It's a big world out there. Anyway, let's see where the adventures take us. Thank you very much for tuning in. It'll be tarot for the audience shortly. But first, we're going to invite the tarot world to comment on getting in God's Zeppelin, accelerating our altitude, okay? And then taking a perspective that purifies, okay? So we can see all things happening, like the King of Wands that we saw earlier. Because if we get a big picture, it's more obvious that we're in an amusement park, and it's important for us to have an adventurous spirit. And every day would be a new adventure. Feels like I'm recapitulating what we just said at the beginning of the show with the 7-card Saturday. Here we go. Let's go downstairs, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. So glad you could be here. Hope you're having a good time. I'm an espresso drinker, so I'm hoping everyone is enjoying whatever it is they're enjoying whenever they're enjoying this recording. But maybe it's breakfast time for you. Okay, and where do I want to go? Let's go old style for this. I also drink a lot of decaffeinated green tea. Sounds like they cancel each other out, right? All right, here we go, Tarot World. If we can imagine getting in the elevator and going up so we can look down on the situation, we can see what happened to us that put us in this position. And we can also note the progress that we've made in the past. So let's get in God's Zeppelin, and let's remember that having perspective purifies everything. It makes everything light. We're floating around like in a Zeppelin, getting in God's Zeppelin. Perspective purifies. Remember to go up. Take a look at the big picture. Right. Thank you, Tarot World. I'm pretty sure you're going to put these cards in order for me so it comes out nice and easy for everyone to follow along, because I'm barely keeping up with myself. Thanks a lot, Tarot World. Wait, let's get the light right. No, hang on. Okay. Yeah, let's do it that way. All right. Yeah, we got the Zeppelin floating up here. Here we go. We got, oh, hey, look, everybody. It's the Lover's card. Remember how I was just saying, hey, Tarot World? I was inviting the Tarot World to, come in and make a statement. The Tarot World has the floor. Well, this is my card for, not only is this a message from the Tarot World, but the Tarot World is taking the stage, everybody. Here comes the message. It's going to be harmonious. It's going to be divine. And it's going to help us remember our own divinity. Look at that sunshine at the top of the card. Okay, next up, well, guess who's strolling in? It's the Knight of Cups. It's the Knight in shining armor. And the Knight in shining armor, it looks like he's got a cup there, and the angels are depositing what's important in the cup. So here comes a big emotional message delivered from the astral plane. This really looks like this is like Steve Martin walking out on stage with the arrow through the head, okay, and the audience is screaming. Right on, Tarot World, yeah. Rock on, it's Saturday morning. Knock yourself out. Cool. All right, here comes the Queen of Cups and also the Two of Cups. Okay, the Two of Cups talks about partnership, but again, this is another one of it's the opposite, not the opposite, but it's the other card for me that says this is a message from the spirit world. So I think here's what's going on. The spirit world is here to deliver the message. Here is the message about, taking a higher perspective on things. Okay. Take a higher perspective. It's a Knight in shining armor situation. And what you have to do is behave like the Queen of Cups. Now I get to read about the Queen of Cups. All right. So the key here is, we're going to be sitting in the Zeppelin and enjoying the ride like the Queen of Cups. Check it out, everybody. Tarot World, you rock, dude. Okay, Queen of Cups, emotional stability. Remember we were talking about balance before? Emotional stability, femininity, love, and warmth surround you. There might be a mature female in your life who is supportive and caring towards you, Or you might be a sensitive, caring, nurturing soul yourself, an empath or a good mother. You are intuitive, in the flow, a daydreamer, a psychic, and a good listener. Maybe the last two, you are a psychic and a good listener. That's like the most important part. You are a psychic and a good listener. You listen to the messages that the spirit world is sending you. Okay, that's right. So keep on floating. Okay, what's next? All right, then this would be how this affects us. This is how it changes us. Hang on a second. All right. First, we just mentioned the Temperance card. There she is, all about balance. Look at that angel. The 9 of Pentacles. And when you have that kind of balance, you can enjoy the fruits of your labor. And this is for real. This is 3D stuff. Look at all those pentacles. That lady is styling. She should be strolling Rodeo Drive with her Gucci bag. And so it's not just a spiritual thing. You should hear it ka-ching. She's got her bling. All right, what's next? Yo, how about that for bling? Have an Ace of Pentacles while you're at it. Buy yourself a new life. And voila, the 3 of Cups says we can all celebrate. I mean, you know, the harder the challenge, the stronger it made you, the more tools you have. And look, who has perspective? The person at the top. Wow, Tarot World. Bravo. Thank you very much. Let's give these cards a toss. And it's time for tarot for the audience. Thank you, Tarot World. All right. Good call. Turning on the camera today. No, I had no idea, of course. Oops. There we go. Hi, everybody. I'm going to scroll through the chat now and say hi to people. And then I'm going to take out name tags. And if you don't have a name tag yet, I'm going to make you one. And then I'm going to do individual readings. And I'm going to scan one more time to see if people have particular requests. So don't forget, if you type in all capital letters, I'm probably going to see your request better because the chat gets kind of long and I'm not reading it right now, right? I'm just trying to get the show rolling and get the readings going. All right, so let's check out who's here. Wow, we have a cool. All right, hi everybody. Thanks for joining me. Glad you're having a good time. Hello, Heavenly Cups. Good to see you again. Right on. Arwen is here. Hello, Arwen. Hi, Kimberly Bamford. Did I see Puck Elf out there? Hi, Puck Elf. Thanks for joining us. Lisa Talcott. Hello. There is Puck Elf. Hey, there you are. Dirty Lightworker. Welcome back. Melly Star. Hello. All right. I think that's, I don't know if I missed anyone. If I missed you, hey, say hi in the chat now. I'm going to get the name tags out. So I have a couple of name tags here. I saw your message, Puck Elf. Excellent. You got it. All right. So I have Kimberly Bamford, Lisa, so I was checking my hearts just in case. I have shamrocks and then I have schoolhouses. The shamrocks. I know Arwen has a shamrock. There it is. Okay, I see Dirty Light Worker. I see your message. I'm gonna go back and pay attention to it. Can't wait to help if I can help. Thanks for your vote of confidence. I appreciate it. Yeah, cool. Hey, Heavenly Cups. I wonder if I have to make a schoolhouse for you. All right, Dirty Light Worker. There you are. Melly Star. Yeah, very good. Thanks for that help, Kimberly. Hi, Melly Star. Did I not say hello to you? Hi, Melly Star. I'm going to go back and read the chat in a minute. Still going through my schoolhouses here. There's Puck Elf. Wow. This is like going through a yearbook. I'm going all through these names, remembering everybody. It's an emotional experience. All right. Okay, so Melly Star wants the Ethereal Bloom. Me too. Okay, and I know Puck Elf wants a card. I'm going to go through now and see whatever else I got going on here. I'm going to scroll up now. I haven't seen the top messages yet. Okay. Oh, Heavenly Cups. Hey, I got to make Heavenly Cups a schoolhouse. Thanks for tuning in again, Heavenly Cups. Good to see you. There we go. Great. Okay, I'm still scrolling on the messages here very quickly. Well, hey, Dirty Light Worker, I appreciate your inspiring messages. Thanks. Wow. Right on, Dirty Light Worker. Cool deal. Thank you so much. Okay, so I think I see, I think I'm kind of organized. Thanks everyone for your patience. Again, I'm just going to get tidied up a little bit here and we're going to throw these cards. And as a matter of fact, well, I'm going to go ahead and see if I can do this real quick. Okay, I just drew a line just in case. We're going to throw Puck Elf his card, and then we'll take care after. Oh, then there we go. All right, I think I'm ready now, everybody. Here we go, Puck Elf. One card for Puck Elf. Let's go old style. Oh, do you need more cards? Okay. I'll throw you a card, and I'll throw you a few more. Okay, hey, Tarot World. I'm so glad to send a message to Puck Elf on the other side of the planet. Let's send Puck Elf some helpful, fun, inspirational cards. he finds so much inspiration in these messages. And we are all inspired when he joins us here at StarCard Podcast. Thanks a lot, Puck Elf. These cards are for you. Here we go. First up, the King of Wands. There we go. He sees the big picture. He overcomes all obstacles. And then here comes a story. The Queen of Cups, we already met her. The 10 of Cups, the Dream Come True card. And the Page of Swords, new ways of communicating. It's exhilarating and a dream come true to get a chance to maybe meet new people and find new things to talk about. I don't know. It just seems like you're the guy that I would want to hang out with at the pub. That's where all the conversation is. Everyone's laughing and having a good time. All right. I hope that was good for you, Puck Elf. Thank you very much for joining us today. I'm going to give these a toss. Thank you, Tarot World. I think the Tarot World probably has like some kind of inside joke going on with you there. I don't know. You're welcome. All right. Next, I'm going to throw for Melly Star, who asked for the Ethereal Bloom deck. I hope I'm getting all this right. Thanks again for tuning in, Melly Star. I just cut and I got the King of Swords for you. Let's get some truth. These cards are for Melly Star. Thank you, Tarot World. I'm happy to throw the cards. You tell me what to say. Let's send Melly Star a helpful, inspirational message, please. What does Melly Star need to see? What does she need to hear? These cards are from Melly Star. I know, I always want to see the star card. Here we go, Melly. Hope you're having a good day, and we're going to make it better right now. Here we go. This is for entertainment purposes only. Good. Hang on. There we go. That's a little bit better. First up, the 9 of Cups. It's a wish come true situation. You've been waiting for it for a while now. It's the 4 of Pentacles. It's the Prize What Shines card. It's a wish come true. Something that's really precious to you is present. And the 10 of Swords says maybe that's the light at the end of the tunnel. You've been waiting a long time. It's finally a wish come true. You've been holding on for a long time. And now the 10 of Swords says it's the end of a painful episode. And now your strength really shows. You went through the training and the strength really shows. And don't forget that the strength card indicates telepathy and empathy. You're an even wiser, more empathic person than you were at the beginning of this episode. So it really did turn out to be a wish come true. You really found out what was precious to you. And finally, you have the 5 of Wands and the Ace of Cups. Well, the sentences that want to come out of my mouth right now are, you know what? Looking back, it was great that I won the Super Bowl. It was a long road, but I can't wait to next season to do it again. Now that I know what a champion I am, bring it, universe. I want to do it some more. So go get him, Melly Star. Today's the first day of the rest of your life. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate your support. Yeah, they're very handsome cards. I agree. Thank you, Tarot World. Wow. I will never read a teleprompter. Next up. So, Dirty Light Worker. We're throwing for your friend. Let me go back up here and check. So I guess I'll throw some cards for Maddie. Is that her name? Hey, Melly Star, you're so welcome. Thank you very much for your feedback. I appreciate it. Yeah, Maddie. All right. I'm going to throw some cards for Maddie. And I know the Tarot World knows better than I do what Maddie needs to hear. So let's invite the Tarot World to offer some helpful and supportive words and images for Maddie. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Well, okay. Here comes the message, Maddie. Hang in there. Here we go. These cards are for Maddie. Thank you so much. I'm saying thank you to the tarot world because I'm pretty sure the tarot world is also delighted to send this message. First up, we have the Temperance card. That's the Balance card. I want to say everybody chill out. Okay, but I'm not speaking to Maddie. I'm just saying that's the message I'm getting. Then the Two of Swords shows up, and look, she is chilling out. This lady is. She's enjoying the beach, basically. You know, you can't beat the beach for great ambiance. Now, at the same time, she does have a blindfold. The Two of Swords indicates a crossroads. Maybe we don't have all the information yet. That's why we're blindfolded. But look, we have a tool in each hand. We're ready to go. All the more reason to just stay composed and let things unfold and let things play out because you're ready to go, but not all the cards are on the table yet, or rather, not all the cards are unveiled and revealed. Here we go. So next up, okay, this is actually a great card from Breakaway Ray's point of view, especially considering all the things I tried to share today. It's the Eight of Swords. And the Eight of Swords says, as much as you can imagine. And then the Moon card shows up, and the Moon card talks about illusion and mystery and the subconscious. So just quickly looking at this, I might read the cards saying, all right, everybody center yourself. Let's get grounded. Not all the information is in yet. But you know what? As much as you can imagine, we can find the information we need if we turn inward to our subconscious, right? Because that's the key to manifestation. That's the Eight of Swords to me. That's the whole thing is manifestation. You know, whatever you think about comes about. That's, I don't know if that's the right thing to say in this instance, but we still got three more cards to take a look at here. So we have the Six of Pentacles. The Six of Pentacles talks about giving and receiving. It even talks about charity. The Hierophant talks about social acceptance and learning and society. This kind of sounds like, you know, it might be Saturday, but we got to go back to work on Monday. What's going on? Oh, and then the Hermit card shows up. And the Hermit is, well, the Hermit is turning inward. And only the Hermit can see the path. The Hermit holds the light so he can see it. It's darkness all around him. Okay, that's the moonlight that we just saw at the end of the last sentence. So, hey, Maddie, I'm going to try to string all these ideas together so we can all be composed as the events unfold. And by the way, as the events unfold, you know what? As much as you can imagine, you can use your subconscious to float everyone's boat and choose the reality that you want. Okay. It does involve, you know, participating. It does involve exchanges of energies. It does involve, you know, maybe you need to take some cash out of your wallet so that more cash can come back in the wallet. That's just one example. But, you know, think about the things that are valuable. Sometimes even valuable things, you know, transpose into other things. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. You know, this is all stuff that we've learned our whole life long. So don't forget to look inward. You have all the knowledge you need and understand, and all your experience is already within you. It's just tough to make that decision, right? So which card is floating through the air? That would be the Angel, wouldn't it? Having a higher perspective. Having a higher perspective. Anyway, I hope that was fun and interesting, Maddie. I sure appreciate you and the Dirty Light Worker tuning in. Have a good weekend, you guys. Thank you, Tarot World. I sure hope all you guys know what you were all talking about there. All right, next up, it's Heavenly Cups. You know who else likes the old style deck is Heavenly Cups. Hey, Heavenly Cups. All right. we're changing continents, everybody. Here we go. The tarot world's been waiting a long time to share another helpful message for Heavenly Cups. Here we go, Heavenly Cups. Thank you, Tarot World. Got some fireworks for Heavenly Cups, I'm sure. These cards are for Heavenly Cups. All right. And we'll get a couple more here. Whoa. What's going on with this card? What is this card? Hey, it's the Queen of Pentacles, being sensible, being practical, being even a working parent, for example. This card's hot right now. Let's see what else is going on. Hey, Woo Riders, I just saw your message. Yeah, no problem, Derek. Thanks for putting it in the chat. Stand by, please. Here we go. Heavenly Cups. The Hierophant. We just saw this guy. Social acceptance, or even, making yourself a presence in society, taking the stage. And by the way, look at the special effects. I mean, look at this guy. If he's walking out on stage, he's got a smoke machine, right? That's kind of cool. And then there's probably got to be some lasers. You got a smoke machine. You probably got to have some lasers and some strobe lights. Okay. It's the Hierophant, and then you got the music going and the crowd is cheering. Okay. Because we're celebrating learning. That's what we do at STARCARD. Well, okay. I'm the only one who does that. Okay. Next up. The Tower card. Yay. We were just talking about special effects. The Tower card. We got the smoke machine and the tower's falling apart. What is going on in this tower? Hang on a second. Wow. Yeah, so I'm looking at the top, and that dude's throwing thunderbolts down. We just talked about lasers, right? So now we got lightning going on and people flying out of windows, and it's all supernatural. Great special effects, Heavenly Cups. Wow. Next up, hey, it's the Two of Swords lady again. We're all waiting for the next thing to come in. What could happen next? Wow. The Ace of Wands says, how about some more magic? It's the Knight of Wands, galloping forward in the proper direction, proudly. Almost like the Queen of Wands, doing so with gusto. It's a life is a big polo game in lots of ways. And then staying grounded like the Queen of Pentacles. By the way, are these two like a nice couple or what? One is balanced and earthy and is taking care of the home and being sensible and practical. And the other one, like the yin and the yang, this guy's on his horse, galloping around everywhere. But when they get together, they're a match made in heaven. Hey, Heavenly Cups, thanks very much for tuning in. Very exciting special effects there. Thank you, Tarot World. Nice fireworks. So I just welcomed Derek, Woo Riders, and while his question is still fresh in my mind, I'm not going to find your name tag, Derek, but I'll throw some cards about the direction your company needs to go in. Okay. Hey, Tarot World, let's help out our friends Derek and Desiree, please. Which direction should their company go in? Can we send a helpful, practical message to Woo Riders? Which direction should their company go in, please? Which direction should their company go in, please? All right. Hey, this is for entertainment purposes only. But you know what's fun about tarot card shows? It gives us stuff to think about, right? We take what works for us. The tarot cards are always like trying to spell out like, from the highest perspective. But sometimes it's so high up, it hardly meshes with what's going on down here. Let's see what's going on. Wow. How about some magic? I think that I know I've thrown cards for you before where, your magic always comes through. So let's start with your magic. You're already an expert magician. The magician card, action, creation, manifestation, power, self-confidence, clarity, willpower, skill, and creativity. It also says here on the side of the card, the beginning of the projects and creative endeavors. Right. I think this is summing up your question. You got the magic. What are we doing with the magic? The Queen of Swords says you were right. I'll read to you what it says on the Queen of Swords. Here's what it says. Queen of Swords, unbiased judgment, independent, clear boundaries, direct communication, clear-minded, and perceptive. It doesn't say a lot about emotions. I'll tell you about that. But I like this combination, Derek. The magician is so clear-minded. Watch out. That's how you make the magic happen. Your intent is clear. Again, where are we going to aim the magic? The Seven of Wands talks about overcoming challenges. And so I'm going to... Did I read the Queen of Swords to you? Yeah, I did. Okay. And I'm going to read to you about the Seven of Wands. But I want to point out that your position is good. You have the higher ground, even though there are a lot of challenges there. The Seven of Wands, challenge, competition, protection, perseverance, defense, and maintaining control. And it also says on the card, regaining or losing control, mastery, choices, responsibility, myth, and secrets. And then finally, in this row, the Four of Cups. The Four of Cups says meditation, contemplation. It also says reevaluation. Well, it really just looks like the tarot world's painting a picture of what's going on right now. You're asking the question. You're correct. You're clear-minded. You see the challenge. You're evaluating things. Here come the last three cards. Wow. You have the Knight of Swords, the Judgment card, and the Queen of Wands. I'll read the cards to you because I want to give you as much information as I can. But the Knight of Swords, he's charging to the defense in an electric way. The Judgment card is saying goodbye to the old and welcoming in the new. And by the way, when you're welcoming in the new, here's the Queen of Wands. She has the zest for life, and she's always courageous and determined. So we really get a sense of looking forward, even though this guy's looking in the other direction. Let's read to you these cards. At the Knight of Swords, ambitious, action-oriented, driven to succeed, fast thinking and defending beliefs. The Judgment card, judgment, rebirth, inner calling, a new phase, absolution, reckoning, awakening, redemption, even mercy. And then happily, the Queen of Wands says courage, confident, independence, focused, zest for life, determination, and joy. This just kind of sounds like an echo of the things that I say all the time, which is, you know what? Do what feels right, whatever feels groovy, whatever one is going to be the most fun in lots of ways. That's probably going to make you the happiest and keep you at a high vibration so that things around you are at a high vibration. And anyway, I really like how these cards, especially these two together, yeah, look at that. Good luck, Derek. I hope it was helpful. And I want to thank the tarot world. I know you were sending an important, helpful, special message. I could just tell by the dynamics and the placements of those cards. There's a lot of stuff going on. Thanks a lot, tarot world. I learn every time. Yeah, you're welcome, Derek. Thank you. All right, next up, here's Lisa Talcott. And I'm going to go back to Ethereal Bloom. All right, Lisa, thanks again for tuning in. These cards are for Lisa. Hey, thanks for the likes, everybody. How about that? I'm in double digits on likes. Nice. And these cards are for Lisa Talcott. Guess who else is going to like these cards? Lisa Talcott. I know I should do a marathon show, not just 90-minute shows, right? Just reading and use all 3 of my timeouts. All right, I'm teasing. I'm not working that hard. Okay, here we go, Lisa Talcott. Let's have some fun. Wait a second. These cards are not in order yet. All right. I feel better now. First up, the 4 of Swords. Meditation time. I don't know about you, but Saturday morning, maybe like take a nap. Hopefully you're not sleeping underneath 4 swords pointed down at you. Then the Lover's card. There's a little romance right there. I'm telling myself not to get carried away with my own thoughts there. The Page of Cups. It's the happy surprise guy. And the 6 of Pentacles, giving and receiving. So if you really think about what you love, it's a happy surprise that you still get to, engage, participate in this pursuit of yours, which I guess has been something you've always loved to do. How's that for a general reading? Then the World suggests completion. The Queen of Wands says, be courageous and determined. Have a zest for life. By the way, you look lovely. And then the Queen of Pentacles says, not only my girlfriend is so cool. Not only does she look great when we go out on the town, she's totally got her act together, man. And the Moon says, it's fun to hang out with her. We like barking at the moon together. So whatever it was, you started at the end. One thing ended, and just because you love life and you're good at it, there seems to be some partnerships involved. So anyway, I hope that was a fun reading, Lisa. Thanks a lot for tuning in. I appreciate it. All right, while we got snow people out, let's bring out Kimberly's. I mean, as long as the freezer was open. Oh no, Kimberly, I'm gonna have to get you a schoolhouse soon, or send him to the Kruger facility for cybernetic implant and augment. Anyway, I gotta stop making that joke. That joke doesn't make me happy. Hey, did I get more likes? Cool deal. Hey, thanks a lot, Terra World. I can't remember. Kimberly doesn't mind. I'll pick out a good deck for you. I like Robin Wood. Did I get to use Robin Wood today? Yes. Here we go, Kimberly. He's hanging in there, your snowman. Here we go. These cards are for Kimberly Bamford. Here we go, Terra World. You make Kimberly Bamford's day every day. Thanks so much. I know I'm right in the right neighborhood if I'm throwing the same kind of cards as Aurora Diamond Heart. Cool deal, Kimberly. These cards are for Kimberly Bamford. There you go. First up, it's that Queen of Pentacles lady again. The practical parent, being practical and sensible. The 5 of Cups. Well, the Queen of Pentacles is not going to worry about this. The 5 of Cups represents some kind of disappointment. And then the 6 of Pentacles, this guy again, talks about giving and receiving. It even talks about charity. Hey, Mom, I dropped that thing. I'm sorry. It's okay. I forgave you. Don't worry about it. Stuff happens. And the Page of Cups says, oh, you know what? You broke that thing, but don't worry. But now we have room on that shelf for what I always wanted to put there. It's like a story by O. Henry. And so, wow. the King of Pentacles and the Death card, we constantly take situations that look like they're disasters and we turn them into rich situations. Again, we're not crying over spilled milk. We're just going to replace it, clean it up, make it look nice and clean. I hope this message worked for you, Kimberly Bamford. Thanks again for tuning in. Yeah, we're constantly making places better, making things better than the way we found them. That's how I feel about you on our podcast. Okay, you're making this channel better. I appreciate your participation. Yo, I just got another like. All right, excuse me. Whoa, hang on. Thank you, Terra World. Okay, and now our finale today. That's right, everybody. It's Arwen. As long as nobody shows up and I yield them. Oh no, I got another friend. I got to throw cards for that person. Anyway, here we go, Arwen. All right, you're welcome, Kimberly Bamford. Thank you. Yeah, more crystals. That's right. Here we go, Arwen. These cards are for you. We got the old style deck. Woohoo! These cards are for Arwen. Thanks a lot for tuning in, Arwen. Thanks for inviting me to read, everybody. It's great practice. These cards are for Arwen. Having a good time wherever she is. Thanks for tuning in, Arwen. Whoa. Okay. The Knight of Wands. All right, that's your attitude for the rest of the day, Arwen. The Knight of Wands. Let's go to the book on the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands, you are being adventurous, energetic, and charming. You are heroic, rebellious, free-spirited, and charged up with enthusiasm. You may go traveling, may take a free-spirited adventure, or move country, or may make brave new business decisions. You are taking risks now that could pay off well. You might be hot-tempered and rushing into action now, but if you are finishing what you started, success will be coming your way. All right, now let's see what the rest of the cards have to say. Right, go get them, Arwen. First, the Three of Wands. It's the expansion card. We're looking for all kinds of opportunities. Luck is where preparation meets opportunity. If you're looking for it, you're probably going to find it in the practice of manifesting. So I'm told, if you imagine that ship is already coming in, guess what? You're going to see that ship is coming in. Okay, next up, the Eight of Wands. That ship is coming in soon. The Eight of Wands talks about travel and flight and also things that are happening, pretty soon. Look at all those wands. There's 11 there so far. Oh, and there's that guy's got a wand. How about some more wands? The Two of Wands. The universe likes your plan. You have a good plan. The universe says you have a green light. Go for it. This is a lot of action. Speaking of action, how about the Chariot? Yo, are you some kind of go-getter, Arwen? Wow. You're like the kid in class that always do the extra credit, not just because your mom would make you. Nice. What do you got, like too many hobbies? Okay. Very dynamic, Arwen. How do you have time to listen to STARCARD? Okay. The Six of Cups. That's happy memories and nostalgia. It looks like intergenerational cooperation. Ah, that's adorable. And then the sprinklers go off and then the kids get wet. Why did I think about that? Anyway, there you are, charging forward, doing lots of things, spinning lots of plates, making lots of people happy. Okay. Right on. Good life plan. That's what this is, isn't it? Is that a 2 and a 3? Wow. Good life plan. Well, here's your last card anyway. Oh. Well, Arwen, it's a 3 of Pentacles. Building something, cooperating, starting something new, and maybe even with the spirit world. You're well aware of your spirit guides, for example, or your relationship with God and the cosmos. So that's why you fit in so well down here at StarCard Podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Is my show over now? I'm going to say so. Hey, sure was fun throwing cards for you today. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Breakaway Ray. I hope you have a good day because you made my day. Get out there and make your own day. All right, we'll see you next time on StarCard. Thanks a lot.